What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Conscious crew? It is your favorite breakdown commentator, Consciouztv. Welcome to another riveting episode of the platform. Girl, I'm not gonna keep you long tonight. A nigga is tired. I had a full-blown, wonderful, exciting, action-oriented weekend. I also just got finished bleaching some hair and coloring some hair, so a bitch is tired. A bitch is tired. But you know, the world is upside down these days, so there's no short of media, there's no short of debauchery, okay, to be reporting on. So we got to come here and talk about it. If you are in the building, give me a nasty piece of thumbs up. If you're new here, definitely hit that subscribe button, and shout out to all of the new subbies, baby, okay? Definitely click your notification bells to keep up with all of the latest commentary from the platform, okay? And we want to get into some things as you guys share the kingdom out, baby. Christian Mingle, Adam for Adam, BGC, Plenty of Fish, BigPussy.com, Fat Bitches Need Love Too, Facebook, Snapchat, baby. Wherever it is, you have a community at online and virtually, baby, okay? You may certainly post the links to the kingdom because free full promotion is nonetheless still promotion. Okay. So I will return shortly with our scheduled commentary for tonight.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, you guys. So we got a lot going on, child. There's a lot going on in the celebrity world. Y'all know that these privileged, rich folk done lost their goddamn minds, okay? Acting a plum goddamn fool is very clear to us, okay? That you can go to school, but you can't buy class, okay? That you can take the nigga out of the hood, but you can't take the hood or the nigga out of one another, okay? There's a lot going on now. Okay, now I am going to preference this conversation with saying that I'm not really sure how the hell I want to have this conversation because it's a lot of things that I am conflicted with as it relates to the people involved in this here particular debauchery, okay, aka DaBaby, who I don't follow, his music I don't listen to. I did give a review for this year's BET Award performances, and DaBaby was one of those people whose performance literally had me shook because it was very clear to me that this man has a very spastic, chaotic mind, and that goddamn performance was completely symbolic of all the goddamn whirlwinding that be going on, all the windmilling that be going on in this nigga's brains, baby. This nigga was flying, levitating, moonwalking, twerking, jerking, getting his hair cut on stage. I mean, all this happened in a 3-minute and 15-second performance, child. So when I saw that, I completely understood DaBaby as being a rapping mess, okay? So I'm not really shook that this man has gotten himself into a lot of controversy, okay? Now, the subject matter tonight is definitely sensitive because of the statements that were made over the weekend during a performance by DaBaby, who performed at a festival that Megan Thee Stallion also had performed at as well. Now, this whole set this weekend for DaBaby was a complete and utter shit show. It was a shit show. Literally, this was a night from hell for DaBaby, okay? And he's fully to blame, okay, for all of the Nightmare on Elm Street results of all of his behavior, rhetoric, and actions over this weekend, okay? But before we get into the minutia, before we get into the debauchery that played out over this weekend, I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to let DaBaby upset me, okay? So let's just do a little a little vetting here so that we can get a proper understanding about who we talking about, okay? When we talk about DaBaby. What's going on, Blessed, Book, and Busy? Hey, Hope. What's going on, Classy? Hey, Christ, Love, and Happiness. What's going on, Miss V? Hey, She Diaries. What's going on, King Buddha? Hey, Dominique. Yeah, Dominique, we're going to get into it. You know, I have friends and relatives who are living with HIV and also have a second cousin who died from AIDS-related complications. And so, you know, the backlash is real, completely rooted in justification, totally. So for those of you who don't know who the hell DaBaby is, let me go ahead and pull him up here so you guys can get a good visual look, because you might not be familiar with his music, but you might be familiar at least with his face, okay? This here would be DaBaby, okay? This is DaBaby, child. Yes, this is he, honey, okay? Non-GED graduate. What's going on, Peace Love? What's going on, Lauren? This is DaBaby, child. Well, let's get into DaBaby, honey. I want to pull up an article here because we're going to have to get into T.I. as well, who jumped into the ring, girl. And we're going to talk about it. Let's first get a proper context of who we speaking about. Let me pull up this article. Okay. This article here is from iHeartRadio.com. Okay. Everything stated here and read here is going to be allegedly, damn it. Okay. Now, the headlines for this reads, DaBaby accused of assault, robbery of home owner. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay. The article reads, more legal woes for DaBaby, who has been accused of assaulting and robbing a 64-year-old man who rented him a house. According to a lawsuit filed on February 22nd in Los Angeles, the 29-year-old rapper, whose real name is Jonathan Kirk, rented a home from Gary Pager on the condition that it was for a private vacation with no more than 9 friends. Pager claims DaBaby violated the rental agreement by bringing as many as 40 people to the property to shoot a music video. When he confronted the rapper on December 2nd, 2020, DaBaby and his associates beat, punched, spat on, threatened, and shoved and robbed him. The lawsuit alleges that when Pager tried to shut the production down, they beat and battered him, stole his phone by force so he couldn't call the police, and threatened him. Then they vandalized his house and left after stealing various valuable items. Pager claims DaBaby and Jake Paul were sitting in a convertible when he was assaulted by an unidentified associate of the rapper. Their behavior was cowardly and despicable, reads the lawsuit. An honorable man would have intervened. The filing alleges that DaBaby climbed out of the vehicle and threatened Pager, punched him, and chased him into the house. He then allegedly sucker punched Pager, knocking out a tooth. Mr. Kirk appears to think he's a real tough guy, the lawsuit reads. Mr. Kirk is wrong. Pager is suing DaBaby and others for fraud, breach of contract, battery conversion, and trespass to chattels. He is seeking at least $117,910.48 US dollars for damaged and stolen property. None of the allegations have been tested in court, and DaBaby has not responded to the lawsuit as of yet. But baby, that ain't it, y'all. Last September, the rap star was sued by a man he allegedly assaulted inside a Los Angeles hotel 9 months earlier, okay? I don't even know how to Christopher Mr. Poga, that's what we're going to call him, okay? Mr. Poga filed a lawsuit claiming assault, battery, and infliction of emotional distress. DaBaby was charged with possession of a loaded weapon earlier this year in Beverly Hills after officers responding to a 911 call about a man with a gun on Tony Rodeo Drive recovered a 9mm gun inside a vehicle. This article is kind of written. Somebody did terrible. Okay, they did not properly grammatically check this, because his name up here, girl, says I guess it's supposed to be Christopher, but it's written Christ of her, baby. And then this sentence here, girl, is a whole situation here, girl. In January 2020, DaBaby was arrested during an investigation onto a robbery when it was discovered he had a fugitive warrant for allegedly engaging in organized criminal activity in Dallas, Texas. The rapper was convicted in June 2019 of carrying a concealed weapon after being arrested in connection to a fatal shooting in a Walmart in Huntersville, North Carolina. And just last March, DaBaby publicly apologized for smacking a female fan at one of his concerts because she held her cell phone up to him with the flashlight on. Okay. So the reason why I had to preference the rest of this dialogue with this article here is because it's going to help you to understand why I'm not going to be upset. Okay? Let me stop this and pull him back up. Let me stop here and pull Mr. DaBaby back up here on the screen real quick. Okay? Boom. The reason that I'm not going to be upset is because DaBaby can't even count to 25. So I'm not about to be upset, okay? What's not about to happen toward a dude whose name is a run-on sentence is my blood pressure going up, okay? I don't expect DaBaby to be able to formulate his sentences correctly. I don't expect DaBaby to even understand the problems and all the issues and all of the misinformation and all of the misogyny and sexism and what the hell he said in front of thousands of folk over the weekend, okay? Nonetheless, it doesn't make any of the shit he said any less problematic and dangerous for those who are living with HIV and AIDS and those who identify as LGBTQIA, okay? But because of who said it, I can't even pretend like I expect anything differently from a man who smacked a paid female patron who used her gas money, her Uber account, okay, got her mama to babysit her churn just so that she could support this man's music, just to only end up with a black eye and a bruised cheek because she turned on the flashlight on her cell phone so that she could capture the performance loud, live, and in color and preserve a memory for herself. I don't expect anything short of stupidity and ignorance and non-GED intellect from a man who robs, beats, batters, okay? A man who rented out his property to this fool, okay? Or a man, okay, who was arrested for carrying a concealed weapon while being connected to a fatal shooting. So DaBaby offending HIV and AIDS survivors and the LGBT community seems to be far from his evil. Okay? See, those are I wouldn't expect this man to have a context and an understanding for social justice issues or the issues around respectability politics and bigotry and toxic masculinity when we're talking about somebody who has a actual character issue. We're talking about somebody who has a behavioral problem. We're talking about somebody who has some type of trauma or deep, dark indoctrination that's literally causing him to put his own life on the line and put other people's life on the line by beating and being violent towards them. There is no way that somebody with this level of rep sheet, with this type of consistency with violence upon men and women and the elderly, can remotely understand what is wrong with his rhetoric over the microphone during this festival. Ain't no way. So for me, I'm not going to let somebody who can't even count to 10 without using both his hands, okay, raise my blood pressure tonight. Oh, no, that's not what's going to happen. Now, we're going to talk about it. And I completely stand for all the backlash this nigga is getting, okay? But I'm not about to let a nigga, okay, who can't even type a complete sentence upset me tonight. Oh, no. It's too much to live for in this world, baby. It is too much to live for. So, to get y'all up to speed, let's talk about what happened over the weekend, okay? Because I got articles, child. I ain't playing no videos. I ain't doing none of that. We just gonna go ahead. Well, maybe I will read this article, child. Maybe I'll, let me share my screen. Maybe I will. I'll pull up the article. Let's do it. So let's get into what happened this weekend that got DaBaby ass in all types of debauchery and more debauchery, because this man clearly loves debauchery. This man got a deep, heavy ass pain body, baby. He just can't stay out of the fuck shit. Just can't do it, honey. He can't do it to save his life. He can't do it to save his career. He can't do it. Can't do it at all. So this article here, y'all. I don't even think this is the right article. Or maybe it is. This is from the Griot, okay? And it reads that this weekend, during a performance at the Rolling Loud Festival held at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, rapper DaBaby went on a reported homophobic rant that stunned audience members, and now fellow rapper T.I., who is no stranger to controversy himself, is coming to his defense. And I quote, this is from Jonathan Liddell Kirk, also known as DaBaby. This is what he said over the weekend that created the firestorm that we're experiencing today. If you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases, then put your cell phone lighter up, DaBaby spoke, okay? He announced this during his performance. Ladies, and I quote, if your pussy smell like water, put your cell phone lighter up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up. Okay, so let's just run that all together. At this festival that he brought Torey Lanez out on the stage of, right after Megan Thee Stallion had done performed on, okay? It's, once again, the debauchery and the agent of chaos for me of it all. DaBaby said, if you didn't show up today with HIV and AIDS or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases, then put your cell phone lighter up. Ladies, if your pussy smell like water, put your cell phone lighter up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up. Okay? Then he added that he was just keeping it real. Now, before we go any further, because T.I. had done jumped his raggedy mouth ass into this as well for no reason, okay? But before we get there, we got to get here. There is like, it's like everything is wrong. Like, you ever experience something that's just so wrong that you're almost like speechless, because the wrongness kind of just really speaks for itself. Like, it doesn't even really require a conversation or a congressional hearing or an unpacking, because it almost defies like simple fundamental laws of common sense. Like, it's just so explicitly erroneous. Like, it's just so explicitly ignorant that it just requires like, where are the handcuffs? Like, somebody get me the handcuffs. Like, somebody just go ahead and give me the baton. Like, then this is one of those situations that like, I'm like, dude, there's nothing really even to say, because DaBaby is the only one, and maybe T.I., who just at this point doesn't get it. You know, I feel confident in saying that DaBaby literally is not even on the short bus. He's on the shortest bus. Like, his bus is traveling behind the short bus, and it's an even smaller bus than the short bus, because the odds are the people who turn out like DaBaby just become so much more of a minority when you really consider that the majority of folk are at this point have a basic education, understanding of the way that sexually transmitted diseases work, and also the stigma around them, and that we have more people today living with, while also surviving and maintaining healthy lives with HIV and AIDS. PrEP, condoms, safe sex, abstinence, etc. Like that, there's so much education around HIV awareness, HIV and AIDS awareness, HIV and AIDS prevention, HIV and AIDS medicine, that this disease does not even hold the level of fear and concern that it used to, because of the advancements in medicine and the availability of the information around HIV and AIDS. And so the fact that DaBaby just hurled off that if you didn't show up today at the concert with HIV and AIDS or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases, then put your cell phone lighter up. Because in DaBaby's mind, because he's an unlearned nigga, because he was a nigga who was pulled out of the ghettos and the slums of the hood and given a rap contract and then threw before the world with hypervisibility, also was not given a book to read, also clearly was not forced to or asked to complete the last 4 years of high school or his education before being given a studio and fame and wealth. Okay? And this is what it looks like in a society where you can just reward people. That all of these platforms, whether it's the music industry, whether it's Twitter, whether it's YouTube, whether it's any of these fucking social media platforms, that it does not require anything but some type of entertainment quality. That all you have to have, you can be mental, you can have some mental issues, aka William McWig, aka Andrew Caldwell, aka all of the other off-brand individuals in the world who have hypervisibility and choose to make a fool of them damn selves just because these platforms, these systems allow for people to have access to fame and even to wealth for no other reason than just having access to it. Because somebody somewhere wants to consume their content. Because somebody somewhere wants to consume their form of entertainment. So now everybody and anybody can have access to visibility, to wealth, to fame, just fucking because. No, there is no vetting. There's no vetting. So this is the type of ignorance that can show up before 25,000 people or 100,000 people at a festival. Because character is not a measure. Intelligence is not a measure. Ethics is not a measure. Education is not a measure or a requirement. Just some type of quality that can be marketed and consumed by the majority and or the collective. And when Sister Caldwell hit me with that suit, I'm gonna hit Sister Caldwell with a foot up the crack of her ass. That's what's gonna happen. So nonetheless, DaBaby then tried to go on a apology tour. Okay, today, shout out to Amon Wiggins. He was over in Amon Wiggins' chat, attempting to clean up the damage that he was being held accountable for, trying to profusely apologize while committing all type of grammatical blasphemies in his statements, while committing all types of sentencing fraud in his retorts and apologies in the live stream, making statements like, I love LGBT people. I love my LGBT fans. What do we want? Free tickets for a concert. I mean, why DaBaby? So that we can be badgered and berated just to hear you other our orientation, because it's not cool to be a nigga sucking dick in the parking lot. It's only cool to be a cisgendered woman sucking a dick in the parking lot. Why? So that we can subject ourselves to the double standard of you homophobic, toxic, masculine ass niggas who always love to set up these fucking irrational, disproportionate ass standards for queer people, while completely being okay with promoting hyper cisgendered heterosexual sexuality, but anything that is remotely queer in any type of way, anything that's remotely same gender, anything, is something that always has to be segregated, something that always has to be rejected, something that always has to be defended against, coupled with the furthering demonization of queer folk by implying that the type of sex that queer people participate in leads to sexually transmitted infections and diseases. So, free tickets for what? Because you already had one damn fan throw their Adidas shoe at your goddamn head when you brought out Megan Thee Stallion. What you think I'm gonna throw if I'm at the free concert, sugar? I'm gonna throw my whole body on stage, and then I'm gonna use both goddamn shoes on my feet to monkey stomp your ass to the east and to the west of the stage you're performing on, sir. That's what's going to happen. See, I'm going to go further than just throwing a object, bitch. I'm going to be the object on stage. Okay? But see, I'm not going to even worry about trying to educate you because you don't want no education. At this point, I honestly don't even think that your brain is even capable of understanding the violence of your rhetoric, upon HIV and AIDS survivors and LGBT folk. So this ain't even you. DaBaby isn't even somebody that I'm going to sit here and give my best to in terms of a informative dialogue, because DaBaby is somebody who still believes that you can contract HIV by drinking out of the same water fountain as somebody with HIV. He's still the person who believes that you can contract HIV from eating off of the same plate as somebody with HIV. He's probably somebody who believes that you can contract HIV from kissing and making out with someone with HIV. He's still the person who believes that you can contract HIV and AIDS from touching the same doorknob as somebody with HIV and AIDS. So I can't do anything with that other than Control Alt and Delete. I can't do anything with that. There's people whose mind is so far gone that you literally just have to throw the entire bitch away. Okay? Even Yahshua said, do not cast your goddamn pearls to swine. DaBaby and those like DaBaby who are on the shortest bus would be those swines. Okay? Totally be those swines. Now, DaBaby also went on, because this was just a small quote from the article. He also went on in that same rhetoric on stage to say, not even on the same stage, in his apology video, because he made a video coupled with moving around in these YouTube streets on a apology tour trying to clean up the bullshit. In a apology video, he went on to say that he didn't mean anything by his statements, that he was just giving a shout out to all of his fans, whether gay or straight, who have classy-based sex, in hotels and not parking lots, and all his gay fans who not nasty, because his gay fans don't have nasty sex. His gay fans don't have unprotected sex. His gay fans don't have HIV. He still didn't get it. And this is what I'm saying. So we're not going to sit here and really have a nuanced conversation about this as if we're really talking about the somebodies who fit the profiles of the babies in the world, who even in their apology literally just furthered the discrimination and the emotional violence upon those who are living with HIV and AIDS. Because even in the apology is an admission in his own mind that you have to be nasty, you must be engaging in reckless sex, you must not have any morals and values, you must be non-hygienic in order to have even contracted either one of the three letters. So, with both heterosexual and homosexual parties alike living with either one of those three letters, their feelings were completely justified. Them putting their foot on his neck as a result of what he's saying is completely justified. Completely justified. Most people living with HIV contracted HIV through monogamous relationships with cheating partners, contracted the 3 letters by sleeping with someone who they trusted. Of course, some people contracted the 3 letters by just participating in hookup culture. Things happen when you participate in hookup culture. Condoms break. There are people who are living with HIV and AIDS who were having protected sex and still contracted it because condoms broke. Contraceptions did not do their jobs. Contraceptions failed them. All of this nuance is left out of DaBaby's rhetoric. Because in his mind, the only people living with HIV and AIDS are those who are buck wild, nasty, and heathens. So shout out. So now they're having conversations around canceling DaBaby. And baby, with a nigga this ignorant, you know, normally I'm not really here for cancel culture because first of all, the only people that can be canceled are the people who are barely even on. Shout out to Chrisette Michelle. But people and celebrities, business owners, politicians, famous people who have crossed a certain threshold aren't cancelable anymore. Cancel culture only works for those who are barely even on to begin with. So cancel culture, probably not. At best, what can be done is just not supporting DaBaby's music and participating in anything that gives him hypervisibility, which comes by way of your personal support. And so if there are people who ain't fucking with DaBaby no more, period. And I am already not a fan of DaBaby. I already don't fuck with DaBaby. But this is just another one of a trillion reasons why DaBaby will not be having my support, not only because of his level of fucking ignorance, but just his level of low vibratingness in the form of his abusiveness physically, his abusiveness emotionally, that DaBaby is a abuser. Okay? His whole background is rooted in abuse. Abuse of anybody who challenges him, abuse of anybody who he just feels like smacking the fuck out of. Just abuse. Okay? And I find it funny that DaBaby thought he could be the moral police by literally categorizing people as clean and unclean, hygienic and unhygienic. Nigga, how unhygienic is your actual conduct? Because a lot of people living with HIV and AIDS, but a lot of people ain't got a criminal background like you. A lot of people ain't got children who they're not supporting emotionally, who they're not supporting mentally like you. A lot of people ain't got several lawsuits under their asshole like you. A lot of people ain't got a lot of apologies to make like you. A lot of people ain't interfering with the law and battering Black women and further damaging Black men and the overall Black community like you. I would rather see those living with HIV and AIDS in your position than to have your ashy ass there. Because you a shame, a scam, and a whole motherfucking fraud. And you just happen to live in a world that allows bad guys to win first and good guys to win last. Your success is not the result of you being blessed. your success is the result of the fact that this is the devil's earth. And these demonic ass systems and institutions prompt ignorant ass abusive motherfuckers like you up before the world, so that y'all niggas who actually are damaging the black community can have the microphone and the resources to talk about queerness and be homophobic and talk about Lil Nas X while being completely disconnected and having no moral conscience about the violence and disparity and capitalism and all of the fuck shit that you toxic ass niggas do to the community. How are you even the voice box for safe sex when every fucking performance you have, including the one that you had on the 2021 BET Award performance, was filled with women gyrating, busting splits wide open, twerking, ass clapping? And you are a activist for same sex. Make it make sense. What the fuck do you think all of the hypersexuality that you perpetuate in your music even leads to? It leads to sex. That can lead to what, DaBaby? But once again, I'm not gonna sit here and literally give this nigga my best, because I understand that I'm not talking about somebody who actually has the comprehension skills to understand, to overstand, and to under goddamn stand. I'm not gonna even sit here, y'all, and act like we really need to have a real conversation, because I am of complete confidence that the majority of people at this point in this country have a proper, might not be in depth, but have a base level proper understanding of the way sexually transmitted anything works, and all of the ways in which people can end up with STIs and STDs. And I'm very proud of all of the backlash that's being had on both sides, not just by the LGBT community. There are cis hetero men and women in this fight, okay? Canceling DaBaby, crucifying DaBaby, backlashing DaBaby, because HIV and AIDS is not a gay disease. Just like having babies, it's not exclusive to the black woman and black male community. Just like single parent households, it's not something that's isolated and exclusive to the black community. Neither is HIV and AIDS. So DaBaby is an interesting person. He's an interesting person. He also went further to say that there's no way he can be homophobic when at that same concert there was a gay man. Hold on. Let me stop this and share my other screen. Let me share my other screen, y'all. He tried to justify the homophobia, you know, the dick sucking in the parking lot comment. He tried to say, I'm not homophobic, because there was a very openly flamboyant, charismatic, animated black gay man in a crop top right to the right of the stage who was getting his whole life off the performance. And I was with that nigga. I was rapping to that nigga, reciting the words with that nigga. And that nigga was getting it. So I don't have no problem with gay folk. Okay, so let's talk about the silly let's talk about all the goofy ass ways that toxic masculine niggas like to be in denial of their homophobia. Homophobes believe that they're not homophobic just because they're capable of tolerating you in their space, but have nothing to say about what then comes if you don't show up in that space in a way that is safe for them. So it was okay for the nigga to have on a crop top and to be openly gay at your concert as long as he didn't suck dick in the parking lot. It was okay for him to be in the building and to dance and to get his life off your music as long as he didn't become sexual with someone. As long as he did not act upon his sexuality in your presence, on your property, or in proximity to your masculinity, he was tolerable as a patron at the concert. And homophobes don't see anything homophobic about that. Nothing. Because in the same breath you can say, hey, I had a whole gay nigga out there gyrating and ass clapping on the stage. In the same breath, you had to use the same microphone to say, hold your cell phone up as a symbol of your proudness and your pride and your dignity and your self-validation if you ain't a nigga sucking dick in the parking lot. So how at the same time, DaBaby, I'd be curious about you ashy ass, homophobic and transphobic ass niggas. How in the same breath do you accomplish both things? I just be wanting to understand. Because we're going to get into T.I.'s musket, menage a trois fucking ass as well. But just before we move on to him, I just be very, I'm going to tell y'all, I don't even be offended no more. I don't even think I can be offended anymore. I actually have just become curious. I just be curious about nigga psychology. I just be curious about how niggas are able to make things make sense, how they're able to make discrimination make sense, how they're able to make double standards make sense to themselves, how they're able to make misogyny and sexism and patriarchy and anti-blackness make sense to them. Like, I just be more so curious and like a damn social scientist. Like, I just sit back and just try to, use my empathy to Bluetooth into these niggas' minds and consciousnesses, because I just want to understand how does the information structure itself. I just be wanting to understand how does the worldview structure itself together. Like, I just be curious about like what laws of gravity at work that bring seemingly contradictory things together in a way that actually feels cohesive to ignorant, dualistic hypocrites in the world. Because while in the same breath, one can say, I don't have no problem with gay niggas because I had a gay nigga at my concert in a crop top, ass clapping, reciting my words, getting his life. I love queer folk. While in the same breath at the same concert, encouraging straight men, encouraging cisgendered men to feel proud of themselves because they not queer. While encouraging cis hetero men to put their phones up in the air out of proudness that they not sucking no dick, that they not taking it in the ass by a man. I'd just be curious to know how niggas be so very serious. Now, let's move on into T.I. Y'all might still remember who he is. I know y'all ain't seen him on TV in a while, honey. He's been temporarily canceled. But if you guys still know who T.I. is, this is him. Y'all remember Tiny's wife? Tiny's husband. Tiny's side piece. Whatever the fuck he is today, baby. Okay? the rubber band man, and I don't think he talking about condoms. Okay, T.I. decided that on his way to put gas into his dying transmission, that he wanted to add his 2 cents in the public's outrage over DaBaby's comments and his seemingly homophobic remarks and his discriminatory remarks toward those living with either one of the 3 letters. Okay, and I'm gonna play this video, but I'm going to preference it, y'all, by saying put your headphones in. T.I., I believe his Ferrari had done blown its head gasket, baby. That engine, I don't know whether it's a V8, a V13, whatever the fuck it was very pervasive in this audio clip that we gon' talk about. Okay, I want the rubber band man to take his shit to the first mechanic, that can give him an appointment, baby, because I could barely hear a goddamn thing. But T.I. decided that he had some things to say to folk. Okay, so we gonna listen and see what Mr. T.I. had to say. Oh yes, Red Knox, he sure can harass a flight attendant on a plane talking about her hair, slap a sister in the club like a man, and stand for Torey Lanez after he almost shot off Meg Foot, allegedly. Child, a hot period. Okay, so let me share the rubber bands man's video, baby, so we can get into this commentary here. Hold on, honey. I don't know who the hell still listens to T.I. or the goddamn baby. These ain't my type of rappers, baby. I've never even heard I haven't even heard a featuring DaBaby. Okay. Okay, let's listen, y'all.
Top. So, I guess, what I'm saying, social media is full of confusion. And words are often misconstrued. And to be honest with you, if homosexuals have more right than heterosexual people, just say that.
Oh, baby, hold on. First of all, did y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? Please tell me y'all can hear that, baby. Because he ain't even make it. What? He ain't even made it 35 seconds to this video, bitch. And it's already time to interject. Could y'all hear that? Are y'all able to hear that? Are y'all able to hear that, honey? Could y'all hear what was playing? Let me know in the comment section before we move further, because I don't want y'all in the comments talking like y'all can't hear shit. So if you heard all of the bad V8 engine transmission shit going on in this video with T.I., let me know if you heard all the... Okay, a little louder, please. I heard some of it. Okay, well, I'm going to be giving you commentary in a damn way. So T.I. starts with saying that people misconstrue, okay? Misconstrue people's words and shit. Talking about DaBaby's comments were taken out of context. And then he says, let's just go ahead and say it, y'all. Let's just go ahead and say it, y'all. That queer people have more rights than straight people. Let's just go ahead and say it. So I guess T.I. done started studying up under Young Pharaoh, or done started studying up under Judge Joe Brown, or done started studying up under Angela Stankin's ass, okay? And now he's convinced of a gay agenda on one end, and convinced that queer people have more protection and rights than straight folk. Now, this is really, my brain cells truly cancel themselves. Like, sometimes in order for me to maintain the little bit of respect I have for other adults, I have to afford myself the liberty of not listening to them, so that I don't ever have to really internalize just how goddamn stupid a motherfucker is. Okay, I don't know if any of y'all can relate to that, but that sometimes in order for you to maintain respect for a motherfucker, you got to turn your ears off to keep you, okay, from actually acknowledging just how remedial, okay, and just how basic, okay, and just how much of a simpleton that a nigga is, okay. So that's what it's like for me oftentimes, baby. Okay, that's why I don't talk too much about this type of shit over here, okay. What are you serious as for? I know you fucking lying. I know you fucking lying as for. You're lying. There's no way. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? I'm gonna have to look into that. Wow. Okay, so T.I. said that folk. First of all, speaking of that young federal shit, y'all might as well just give up on all these pro-black niggas. Whether it's Umar, whether it's Pharaoh, whether it's Polite, whether it's Nature Boy, whether it's whom the fuck ever. All these niggas have failed the fucking community. These niggas pretend to be pro-black, but really want white women. They act like they want black queens, but they want to be in polygamous and polyamory relationships with black women so that they can still get their swift of a non-black woman while still perpetuating the idea that they stand firmly in black ideology, black nuclear family shit, black excellence, black leadership, black blah 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 blah. Okay, we still ain't seen no school from Umar. We still ain't seen young Pharaoh transfigure on the side of nobody's mountain. Okay. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. Nonetheless, T.I. talks about being, okay, queer people having more rights. Okay, I just want straight people. Maybe y'all can tell me, because maybe I just have not been alive for 35 years. But if you are a heterosexual individual, I want you to tell me what was the year and the date, and give me the timestamp where y'all had to fight for y'all heterosexual rights. If anybody identifies as heterosexual in the comment section, I want y'all to tell me about where in history did you or your great-grandparents ever had to deal with seeing signs in front of bakeries and churches that said no heterosexuals allowed? Can y'all tell me at what point in history did heterosexual folk have to drink out of a separate water fountain or had to shop in a particular section of the store? Can anybody tell me where there was a march to freedom and equality and liberation as a heterosexual? If anybody can give me the reference, if anybody can find me the notes, baby, I am somebody who is very open to education. I am very much so open to learning. If anybody can tell me where at any point in time in this country it was that heterosexuality was outlawed, I'm gonna give you a few moments, okay, to let me know where I can go and get educated and properly updated and informed about my history, because maybe it's me that missed it. I'm really, really able to entertain the fact that maybe I dismissed it, baby. Okay. Because T.I. said that queer people have more rights than heterosexual folk, which implies that heterosexual folks have rights in and of themselves and had to fight for those rights. And if heterosexual folks had to fight for the rights they have, I'm interested to know from T.I., well, who in the hell were the gatekeepers if it wasn't heterosexual folk? I have never heard any sermons in church condemning heterosexuality. You know, I've seen and read my history regarding women's equality and women's oppression, and read my history, understand my history about melanated black and brown folk being oppressed and discriminated against. I've even read my history, y'all, and seen that queer people, okay, have been marginalized, disenfranchised via respectability politics, religious bigotry, etc. That, you know, at one point in time, they also had cures for homosexuality called conversion therapy, electroshock therapy, okay? So I done read about a lot of marginalized folk, but I want somebody to give me the references for when heterosexuality was outlawed in this country. Okay, people said never. All right, let's move along, honey. Let's play some more of what Miss T.I. had to say.
Homosexuals have more rights than heterosexual people. They just say that. Let's let that be the law. That the law? Because I feel like I respect gays, especially the ones who have the courage and the bravery to step out and live in their truth. You know what I mean? I respect that. I think any human being, man, walking this earth who has the bravery and the courage to live their truth unapologetically, I respect that. But that I respect it the same way if you're a heterosexual person. I respect it the same way. So I don't even see what all the hoopla about. Some of y'all motherfuckers just be up in arms and fake caring about shit just because you.
Okay, so T.I. says he don't understand what all of the hoopla has to be and where is all this heat about homophobia coming from. But you know, this is the part of the conversation and critique that highlights just how blinding privilege is. Because see, Mr. T.I. can't seem to understand what the problem is, because it's not his identity nor any of his intersections that are being put on the cross. And people in general have a habit of trying to minimize discrimination that other people face just because it's not their discrimination, because it's not their struggle, because it's not their pain. That what is the problem? What is the problem? What is the problem? Because it's not their plight. It's not their circumstances. So here, Mr. T.I., who wanted compassion when him and his wife were ran through with allegations of up to 40 women regarding abuse, sexual misconduct, etc., okay, was completely open to receiving empathy. But here, when it comes to the way that queer people feel about the homophobia and the patriarchy, the toxicity of the masculinity displayed on DaBaby's microphone, here it is. He can't do nothing but be apathetic instead of being empathetic. Because he ain't queer, so what's the big deal? He ain't queer, so what's the uproar about? Because the violence isn't being committed upon him. And now T.I. is getting that heat. Okay, let's continue to listen.
You got shit else going on in your life, man. You dig? Ain't nothing in the world gonna make me hate nobody just because they do something different in the bedroom than I do. Ain't nothing.
Okay, so here it is. The rubber band man is saying that ain't nobody can make him hate nobody, and that he actually don't give a damn about what people do in the bedroom. And of course, T.I. don't give a damn about what people do in the bedroom, because everything that he does in the bedroom is under question. So of course he conveniently is completely able to cape for not giving a damn about other people's sexuality and about what other people do in the bedroom, okay? But just like a patron who you guys gonna hear, who swung through the live stream in a few moments on T.I.'s Instagram video, had said, who the hell asked you I'm going to have to follow suit and say, who in the hell asked T.I.? T.I. up here defending his goddamn self like it was his goddamn festival. I don't know whether he is vicariously living through DaBaby's Sunday night performance because his ass ain't been booked and busy nowhere but pooching back and forth from his mansion to the Shell station down the street. Or really what the T is, baby. But I was trying to understand exactly when did T.I. get put up on the goddamn cross and needed to defend his lack of homophobia. I'm just trying to make it make sense because you wasn't the one who told niggas to put their cell phones up and celebrate the fact that they not gay and sucking dick in the parking lot. So while you may be a man, T.I., who don't give a damn about what another man does orally or anally or penally, it was seen that the person in question here, that the person who used their privilege and their visibility, okay, would be DaBaby, who might have some issues with what another man does orally, anally, or penally. So I don't know why you acting as if just because your freaky raunchy ass don't give a damn that somehow should bleed over and also be a saving grace to DaBaby, who used his time on his stage with his microphone to make what is seemingly interpreted and translated to queer people to have been a homophobic remark. I don't know why the hell you think that you justifying or standing up as a non-homophobic black man has anything to do with the ass kicking that the virtual street ass whooping that DaBaby is receiving for his seemingly homophobic remarks, okay? I don't know why you using your dick sucker. I don't know why you using your cock blower. I don't know why you using your super soaker throater, okay, to even pick up your damn cell phone and talk about and justify your own inclusion when the person who's at question is a person who seemingly isn't as inclusive as your ass is. And instead of berating a upset community, since you call yourself not giving a damn, which means that really in turn you're presenting yourself as an ally, while you then couldn't use your 5 minutes of motherfucking unfortunate fame to cape for the LGBT community and stand in solidarity with them as it relates to the seemingly homophobia that was personified by DaBaby during his Sunday night set at the motherfucking festival. Let's keep listening, child.
My business. Ain't none of my business. Zero. Give a damn what you doing. What you dick or your ass or your genitalia, your period. I don't give a damn. Fuck, I can't.
Okay, so here it is, girl. We just gotta keep pausing, baby. T.I. keep going on about how he don't give a damn. How ain't none of his business. Well, I wish he wouldn't have gave a damn about the public's reaction since he don't give a damn. I wish he would have took that not give a damn and would not have even bothered coming online at all. I wish that his didn't give a damn would have kept him anonymously as a viewer rather than a commentator in this situation, since he don't give a damn, especially since his not giving a damn didn't contribute at all to the conversation that those of us who give a damn are having. Let's keep listening.
Who asked me? Who asked you, motherfucker? You on my motherfucking line. What are you talking about? Ask me, motherfucker. You motherfucker feel like you can goddamn get on here and goddamn express your opinion and say what the fuck you want to say, but because people are celebrities, they just supposed to shut the fuck up. What the fuck out of here?
Okay, no, T.I. That's where you fucked up at, okay? Because you thought that the person was telling you to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down, was telling you to do so because you are a celebrity and therefore shouldn't have a voice. No, what he was telling, why that person said you need to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down, who asked you, is because your whole goddamn sexual preference and sexual behavior is completely on the line. Okay, so you should be the last person trying to play down other people's reaction and responses to somebody who's all up in they dick sucking business. Because what you should have said on your live was that DaBaby ain't have no motherfucking business, especially if he also claims to be LGBT friendly and to be inclusive, to have made it his business to be in another nigga's throat. That's what you could have said on your live, was that DaBaby was absolutely out of motherfucking order, because ain't nobody giving a damn about the pussies and the watery vaginas that's riding his shit every night. Therefore, don't be giving no damn about if a nigga got a big dick in his throat in the parking lot, in the motel, in the hotel, under the staircase, especially with you being so sexually fluid yourself, sir. Okay, just like you in your damn feelings about motherfuckers being in your bedroom, queer people, okay, are tired of motherfuckers being in their bedroom too, being in their motherfucking ass too, being in their goddamn throats too. Not to mention that queer people can't never actually be considered same gender loving, because anytime you niggas even want to have a dialogue and a reference for homosexuality, it always has to do with the actual sexual activity of queer people. But once again, these are the same niggas. You know what? Let's just keep listening.
What is wrong with you? I mean, it's just not realistic. Like I said, man, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for motherfuckers like Lil Nas X and motherfuckers like Frank Ocean, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers who step out there and live their truth. Honest with themselves. Yeah. A lot of you motherfuckers out there hide your truth. And that's the whole shit. That's what's not respectable. It wouldn't be the fact that you get.
Okay, so I think it's also funny. We're gonna pause right there too. How T.I. is going on to say that he actually respect people who can live in their truth, and respect queer people who live in their truth, and respect Lil Nas X, because it takes a lot to live in your truth. It's the people who not living in their truth that's the issue. See, y'all gonna have to clear that type of shit up, because just like T.I. didn't owe it to anybody, he didn't owe it to the world to let us know how many goddamn twats and feminine assholes he had his wife mooching on, that he ain't had no obligation to tell the world how many pussies his wife was sucking on in these foursomes and fivesomes allegedly. Queer people are not obligated either to let a motherfucker in their business. And just because there are queer men who prefer not to disclose their orientation also does not imply that they're on the down low or that they have something to hide. It's just that it's not always none of your fucking business. Now, I'm trying to figure out which way you niggas want it. Because when queer people don't want to disclose it, it's, oh, come out of the closet. But then when niggas come out of the closet, it's, oh, it's the gay agenda. These niggas gonna need to go back into obscurity. But either way, it's none of your business. A nigga's preference or a woman's preference in their pansexuality, bisexuality, homosexuality is not any more obligated to let a motherfucker know anything unless they're in a committed relationship and actually committing infidelity. And that's what's interesting about like even the underlining like homophobia in T.I.'s statement. Oh, it's the motherfuckers who ain't telling nobody. It's the motherfuckers, it's the niggas who wanna die. It's the niggas who ain't living in their truth. No, nigga. Just because a nigga decides it's not none of your motherfucking business don't mean that a nigga ain't living in his truth. A nigga is just aware that it ain't none of your motherfucking business. Okay? Now, if you're talking about infidelity, then that's what you need to state. infidelity. And see, this is why you niggas get y'all asses whipped. That's why niggas like you and niggas like DaBaby get y'all ass tore out of the frame, okay? Because y'all not nuanced enough in y'all language. Y'all not clear in HD enough in what the fuck y'all say to be clear communicators, okay? And then you get your ass out here and get chewed the fuck up and then want to be mad when your ass get held accountable, okay, for all of the ignorant, weird undertones and lack of intersections and what the fuck you saying. Okay, but y'all the ones who decide to pick up a goddamn phone. Y'all the ones who decide to hit the live button. Y'all the ones who decide to hit the goddamn microphone and say what you got to say. So you just need to be clear when you go to motherfucking say it, ho. Let's keep listening.
Hey, it would be the fact that you out here fronting. Fronting like you ain't. If you is, be proud. Shit. And then, I mean, it seems as though, okay, what I want people to know, from my understanding is, you get the energy that you put out there, okay? You get the energy that you put out there. I don't care who it is, like, from a male-dominated society that put out a whole bunch of energy like that, you're going to get the equal opposite energy in return. And that's why you have, you know what I'm saying, such a strong feminist movement. It's going to be overly directed in the area of feminism because of all the years that it was overly masculine. You get the
Okay, now, everything he was saying, all with that, I agree with. Yes, the pendulum is going to swing from the left as it does to the right, removing out of the age of the divine masculine and removing into the age of the divine feminine. So you're going to see an explosion of women's presence, women's leadership, women's worldview, femininity. You're going to see an explosion of the queer community, which is also an attribute of the divine feminine as well. Yeah, you're going to see all of that. That pendulum is swinging from the left and to the right. Now, see, for the remainder of this commentary in this here video he was in, he did all right. He did all right. But where he fucked up at, okay, once again, honey, these niggas, they speaking out of both sides of they coochie eaters. Okay? Let me see if I can pull up the article here, honey. Hold on. Let me see if I can find his quote, honey. Let me see here. Hold on, honey. Hold on to your love. So T.I. was on Twitter, okay, and tweeted that if Lil Nas X can kick his shit in peace, so should DaBaby. So should DaBaby be able to utilize his freedom of choice to say whatever the hell he believes, if it's okay for Lil Nas X to be who he is. See, stuff like this looks the same to these dumbass niggas. And I don't really understand. Let me find this photo real quick. Hold on. Let me put this back up here. Do I have it up here? Hold on. Not you. Not you. Not you. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this motherfucking picture. He thinks that it's the same thing. See, this is what happens when you don't graduate high school and you don't understand context, honey. Okay? When once again you don't have a nuance. Okay? You be looking at surface shit, really be thinking that things is one and the same. Okay? And things don't be one and the same. So once again, quoted here, T.I. went on Twitter after he tried to clean it up in his own damn Instagram live and said that, you know, he ain't got no problem with queer people, blah, 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 while not holding DaBaby accountable, since he's so queer friendly, and since he believes that people should just be able to do what the fuck they want to do, and people should, you know what I'm saying, be able to toot their booties up, and who gives a damn? Well, why were you directing all of that toward the community and social media and not telling your homeboy DaBaby that? All that energy you had for social media and had for the queer community was for you to direct toward DaBaby, because he the one who gave a damn about there being a dick or a lack of dick in a nigga's mouth in the parking lot. He was the one who made it his business, okay, to feel like it was his business to be in another nigga's mouth orally. So all that heat, T.I., was really misdirected. You missed the mark, boo. That was supposed to be directed to your friend, DaBaby. Okay? Especially since you yourself don't give a damn what's in a nigga's mouth. You should have been asking DaBaby, why the fuck do you care if a nigga got a dick in his mouth in or out of the parking lot? Nonetheless, T.I. went and then said, if Lil Nas X can kick his shit in peace, so should DaBaby. Well, here's the context, GED. Okay? Lil Nas X is being himself. DaBaby's comments are discriminatory and perpetuating misinformation regarding those who live alongside HIV and AIDS. How the fuck are either one of these things in the same category? How can you compare Lil Nas X putting his humanity on display in the form of his art and compare that to DaBaby having the right to be hateful and also miseducated and ignorant? How in the hell can both of those things exist on the same spectrum? You're talking about one person who's putting their humanity on display, and the other person is demonizing people's humanity by suggesting that if they have HIV or AIDS, that implies something nasty and immoral and disgusting and reckless on behalf of those who are living with HIV, and also demonizing queer men by telling straight men to throw their phones up and celebrate the fact that they not gay and don't want a dick in their mouth. So what the fuck are you even talking about? Lil Nas X should be able to be queer, just like you had a right to be tip drill, just like you had a right to make raunchy music, just like you had a right to put voluptuous big booty women in your videos and be hypersexual, just like you have a right to express your sexuality and your sensuality as a cisgender heterosexual man. Lil Nas X is just affording himself as a queer man to do the same thing. But DaBaby is actually discriminatory toward people's humanity. People have the right to be gay because they simply are fucking gay. And to keep thinking and speaking and preaching something contrary to that is completely out of order and discriminatory. People can't change the fact that they are gay as hell, that they are transgendered. Y'all have treated sexuality, particularly lesbianism and homosexuality, as if it's a switch. And if it is a switch, why has the LGBT community at large struggled to find the simple switch that reads heterosexuality? People done tear it and prayed and rebuked and bind their sexuality up for the majority of their fucking life, still to wake up with same-sex, same-gender affections, still to wake up transgendered. We're talking about orientation, something that's organic to the fundamental makeup of human beings, meaning that all of us have a sexuality, whether that sexuality is directed toward the same sex or the opposite sex. That sexuality is fundamental to what it means to be a human. It's so fundamental to humanity that less than 1% of the human population identifies as asexual, because that's just how fundamental it is to have a orientation that is something literally built into our consciousness, built into our DNA. DaBaby argued the latter when he decided to express the fact that there's no pride in being a dick sucker, being a dick sucking man. Let me clear that up, because it would have been okay to be a cisgendered woman sucking dick in the parking lot. And you're comparing a nigga who's being himself, writing his songs directed at the sex he's attracted to, performing alongside the men he's attracted to, and utilizing the sex that he loves as his love interest in his music, to a nigga who has an issue with this man having a orientation different from his. Both of you niggas are really unnecessary. Both of you niggas are unnecessary. Both of you niggas are unnecessary. Now, what I'm going to give to you, T.I., is that you tried to tread the field light, baby. You tried to, your pendulum was swinging back and forth. I kept seeing that you were trying to be inclusive, but then you would let that homophobic shit creep up in your asshole. And maybe that's just the struggle of being privileged. And it's going to really take you niggas to really unpack all of y'all's white supremacy, anti-black shit in order to really come full circle, okay, in the inclusion that y'all be trying to hold on to. And let me tell you, I'm going to say this. I, in some way, because I'm a human and I got love in my heart, sometimes I empathize with heterosexual folk, and particularly heterosexual black men. Sometimes I empathize with y'all because I understand you've been groomed to be stupid. You've been groomed to be ignorant about gender, about sexuality. And not only are you groomed to be ignorant like that, you are a part of a community of people who have unreconciled trauma due to the perpetual experience of white supremacy in this country that have given us all of our narratives, that have given us all of our doctrines, that have given us all of our understandings about the way that the world works, about the way that sexuality works. And so being a part of a society that's cracking the glass ceiling and attempting to transcend the ignorances that we've all internalized, I can imagine it's difficult. But all I can tell you, baby, is y'all niggas is too rich to be this goddamn dumb. Y'all niggas is too motherfucking wealthy to be this goddamn stupid. And to have this much motherfucking money and to not be sitting down on the weekends on Sunday morning with a goddamn scholar and a goddamn historian, because you actually understand the value and the power and the responsibility that comes with your fame and your visibility, that when you go to open your mouth, that it actually motherfucking matters. And to not take an incentive to really be responsible with that power, to be responsible with that microphone, to be responsible with that hypervisibility is a disservice and a total injustice and misnumber. And this is why you niggas will always catch the heat more than anybody else. Because you have too much motherfucking resource and power and privilege to be reckless. And to whom much is given, even much more is goddamn required. Now, if you can't take the heat, I'm gonna need you and DaBaby to sit your motherfucking asses out of the kitchen. Because people's lives are on the motherfucking line when people want to stigmatize straight and or queer people living with HIV and AIDS. People's lives are on the motherfucking line when y'all want to stigmatize queer men and queer women and trans men and trans women. You niggas, because thousands and hundreds of thousands of people are listening to you niggas when y'all speak. Y'all are being looked to as the historians. I don't agree with that, but that's the reality. Y'all are being looked to as the educators. I don't agree with that, but y'all are being. And I know y'all didn't ask to be educators, and you ain't asked to be historians, but your ass did ask for fame. And with fame comes the moral obligation and commitment to use your motherfucking power and your motherfucking resources and your motherfucking money and your goddamn fame responsibly. I would think that y'all would get tired of getting y'all asses whooped out here all the time, that y'all still don't get it, that you still don't get that you need to be sitting in front of sitting up under somebody and learning something worth communicating to the community at large. DaBaby ain't nothing but a goddamn thug with the contract. Nothing to offer, no substance there. And you perceivably, T.I., are a whole fucking elder. You are a elder to him, musically speaking. But instead of you using your 5 minutes to direct all that shit to DaBaby and to call him out on his fuck shit and to tell him how non-inclusive, homophobic, and misogynistic he was being, was interesting. Was very interesting. But people not surprised really at either one of y'all. And then y'all wonder why black women are so disgruntled with black men at this point. Y'all wonder why the black LGBT community is so disgruntled at this point with black men. Y'all want to be oppressive so fucking bad. So fucking bad that even though T.I., you call yourself all-inclusive, you came and berated the LGBT community for being upset. You berated the community of those living with HIV and AIDS rather than actually being a fucking ally. Because black men want to be white men so fucking bad. Y'all just be salivating at the motherfucking mouth to reinforce oppression. Y'all just be looking for any goddamn opportunity, even when the moment don't call for you to oppress no goddamn body. People at this fucking festival getting their fucking life after a pandemic that they spent almost a year and a half cooped up in their fucking house, not being able to socialize. Even with queer people there to celebrate DaBaby's talent and music, he just couldn't wait, baby, to use a moment that didn't call for no oppressive, that didn't call for no divisive shit to be divisive. And all you could do, T.I., is bring your Taliban ass along, calling yourself a man who's neutral on all fronts, and berate the communities who are upset in an attempt to pull DaBaby down off of the cross. That ain't what allies do. Now, you same niggas don't want freedom for nobody else and want to act like nobody else's trauma matters and want to act like nobody else's oppression matters. But then as soon as one of you niggas are dead in the street, everybody should be marching and putting their motherfucking life on the line to stand in the gap for you niggas who don't do shit for the community, but reinforce toxic everything, misogynistic everything, patriarchy, every fucking thing. You talk about you don't give a damn, you don't give a damn, you don't give a damn, what does it fucking matter? I wish you would have gave a damn enough to not talk about motherfucking pushing drugs and peddling cocaine and loads of goddamn heroin and crack into your community by way of your music. I wish you would have not given a damn to talk about all your AK-47s and all your motherfucking weapons that you would use to kill another black man with in your motherfucking music. I wish you would have given a damn enough to raise your daughters equally to your sons, who you encourage to develop their sexuality, while you still need to go to the goddamn go to the goddamn doctor and make sure that your daughter is still a goddamn virgin, while encouraging your boys to lose their virginity ASAP. Whoever told you, who the fuck asked you, should have added to sit the fuck down too. Because you are the last nigga. You so goddamn fucking confused and fast. And see, I can give you that heat more than I can give DaBaby that heat, because DaBaby is a fucking idiot. DaBaby is stupid as fuck. DaBaby can't even get it. But you nigga, you gotta look at goddamn sense. You nigga, you got the brain capacity to get it. So I'm gonna appeal to your comprehension skills, because you have the wherewithal and the bandwidth to get it, even if you choose not to. But DaBaby ass is a reprobate. But you, sir, this was an epic fucking fail, and fuck you. Fuck you. You niggas, I don't even know what to say about. I don't trust none of you niggas at this point. I don't trust your allyship. I don't trust your advocacy. I don't trust nothing you niggas call yourselves doing. Because y'all always make the claim, but never produce the motherfucking receipts. Y'all are selective in y'all allyship, selective in your advocacy. Y'all niggas are compartmentalized and fucked up. So, DaBaby, if y'all want to cancel that nigga, cancel that motherfucking nigga. Because even DaBaby's apology was almost as worse as his initial statements. How the fuck your apology is more insulting, more misinformed, more stereotyping, more insensitive than your initial disrespectful remarks? And see, this is why I ain't got nothing for DaBaby. That brain is fucking gone. DaBaby was stupid enough to do more damage in his apology than he did his initial goddamn comment. Make it make goddamn sense. How the fuck your apology disrespectful? How you take it upon your motherfucking self to attempt to make your wrongs right, and you add more insults rather than take them back? You further the stereotype of those living with HIV and AIDS by saying that I didn't mean anything, y'all. I was just saying and acknowledging that my fans, my gay fans, they not nasty enough to contract HIV. That they classy-based folk. Are you fucking okay? And nobody around DaBaby is gonna tell DaBaby to sit the fuck down. Because in this country, you profit even from pain. So nobody in power is gonna tell these niggas with power to straighten the fuck up, to get their motherfucking ass in formation. Because in this country, you can profit from both negative and positive stimulation, both negative and positive input and output. I could do without celebrities in the world at this point. Celebrities done lost their goddamn mind. Black men done lost their motherfucking mind. And the rest of us just need to hold on for glory, baby. Because the only way that this world gonna have a motherfucking shot at recalibrating is due to those who left. And that is black women and black LGBT folk. We don't need to let these niggas in the house anytime motherfucking soon. It's time for us to fucking lead and lead goddamn fully. Because black men at this point are the fucking overseers to black people. They look like us. They talk like us. They country like us. They suffer like us. But they don't identify with us or as us. And black women, you know this. Because in the words of Kanye West, when these niggas get on, they're going to leave your ass for a white girl. And shout out to Kim Kardashian. Queer community, y'all know this. Because these niggas tiptoe on the scene, acting like they cool, and then slowly but for surely, here comes the rhetoric. Here comes the phobia. Here comes the gay agenda. Here comes the divisive bullshit. This is the time in the world for black women and black LGBT people to stand to fucking together. Black men are in the sunken place at this fucking point, and we gonna have to go on without their ass. We gonna have to go the fuck on without them, baby. We done tried to drag these goddamn horses to water. We done tried to make their ass drink. All they want to do is sally up with a motherfucking goat. All they want to do is settle down with a goddamn sheep instead. So we gonna have to forge ahead without these niggas and lead them to the Lord. Lead them to the Lord. Because I'm done. I'm done with it. Black men, y'all have been a profound disappointment. And I told myself that I was not going to get upset on this live tonight. Because I don't even like talking about you niggas because I'm so disappointed. And now I'm at a point where I have just gone numb to black men. Numb. I don't trust y'all. at this point can't even say that we need y'all, because we are finding that we can actually do this without y'all asses. And the fucked up sad part about this is nobody wanted to do it without you niggas, but you niggas always want to do it without us. Always. Y'all always find a way to abandon Black women. Y'all always find a way to abandon Black queer people. Oh, it literally never ceases. It never ceases. And anytime that anybody who Black like y'all asses get to telling y'all about what their experience is of y'all, all y'all can do is narcissistically deflect, reject, and then gaslight as a response. I didn't even want to come up here and do this commentary because I don't have anything else to say. I don't know what else to say to Black men. I don't. I have let Black men go emotionally. I don't hate Black men, but I'm not invested, because Black men only care about themselves at this point. So I have to leave Black men to themselves and focus on Black women and focus on Black queer people. And let Black men go do their own shit wherever they want to do their own shit. And I'm not talking about personally, because I'm in a relationship to a Black man. But I'm saying in terms of where my platform is directed, it's for Black queer people and Black women. So whatever the judgments are, whatever the critiques are, everybody who's upset in this situation, rightfully so. And what I take away from all of this is the only thing that I take away every time like something like this manifests, which is this is more of the reason why those of us who sticking together need to stay together, because we don't have anybody else but ourselves in this fight. Sometimes I catch heat because I speak passionately when I speak about Black women's issues or when I speak about queer issues. And the reason why I speak passionately is because I cannot count on so-called Black male allies and activists to do it for us. So when I go to speak, I'm going to speak ferociously. When I go to speak, I'm going to speak unapologetically. Because I cannot trust those who claim to want equality, but really want power. I cannot trust those who claim that they love Black women when they only lust for Black women. I cannot claim or trust The same system that say, I love queer people as long as I don't see you. As long as you don't allow your humanity to exist before me, I support you. I cannot trust. So I have to use my foot where I am to kick that door through with everything that I have in me. And every last single one of you should do the fucking same. Nobody outside of ourselves is going to save us. This fight that we in to reclaim our time, to reclaim our history, to reclaim our piece of the pie, that's going to have to be a fight that we're going to fight passionately and to the death. That's going to have to be a hill that we're willing to die on, if that's what it even costs. So I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. Shout out to motherfucking Megan Thee Stallion, because she must be somewhere totally vindicated, because y'all know she don't even fuck with DaBaby, who seemingly jumped to cape for Torey Lanez, while also supposedly being a supporter and a peer and a co-worker of hers. And that's why a goddamn Adidas shoe got through at that nigga head when he brought Torey Lanez out. But because here it is, we have a black woman who was shot. And Torey Lanez was one of 3 people. One of 2 people. One of 3 people. As a suspect. As a suspect. Not that Torey Lanez deserves to be found guilty before he's found guilty. But I think that DaBaby's insensitivity, especially with his proximity to Megan Thee Stallion, and considering what happened to her, once again, it's just a testament of how easy it is to dispose of black women. How easy it is to be desensitized to black women. How easy it is for black men to dispose of black women and to deny and ignore and abandon black women mentally and emotionally and spiritually. These niggas are for themselves. They love each other. Torey Lanez and DaBaby love each other more than they love that black woman. And guess what? If Torey Lanez is claiming his innocence and saying that he didn't shoot her, bitch, that means you damn sure know who did. And if you gave a fuck about her livelihood, and if you gave a fuck about the trauma she experienced, you would give up who the fuck you need to give up in that situation. Because that black woman could have lost her motherfucking life at the hands of whoever pulled the fucking trigger. So if you are innocent, you still witness who is guilty of the fucking crime. And your silence is your complicity. So fuck you, nigga. Yo, paradigm is shifting. Paradigm shifting. Paradigm is motherfucking shifting. We better wake the fuck up. Okay? 2-hour live show. Thank y'all for being in the motherfucking building. Give me a nasty old piece of goddamn thumbs up on this goddamn video, so my shit can float and rotate. Okay, do what it need to do. hit that subscribe button and all that. I love y'all. And until next time, stay blessed. Later.